everyone, welcome along. I'm really excited about this. This is a new member spotlight for the Services Delivery Alliance community. And we're going to be focused in some of these on how our members are leveraging AI to improve the productivity and scalability of their services organizations. So today I'm delighted to be joined by Artem from JetBrains. How are you, Artem?
I'm great. How you doing, Jonathan?
Yeah, very good, sir. Very good. Happy Monday morning to you. Do you want to just give everyone a little bit of an introduction to you, the scope of your role, and a bit about JetBrains?
Absolutely. So, hi everyone. My name is Artem Khvastunov. I am head of professional services at JetBrains, based out of Munich, Germany. At JetBrains, we do tools for software developers. We are a leading vendor of IDEs, integrated development environments. This is the classic way to approach software development, but we are also big in the AI, basically the new way of prompt engineering, low-code, no-code solutions, and so on.
Very cool, very cool. And these characters behind you that I see, the two bears, are they your bears or are they generic background bears?
Oh, it's sort of a little Easter egg. So these are gophers actually, and
Gophers. Okay,
yeah,
nice. Yeah.
this is a mascot of the Go language. And I used to work as a team lead on the Goland, our IDE for the Go development.
All right, cool. I like it. A bit of a story. Very good. All right, awesome. So, one of the things that I think's been super interesting about your experience within the SDA that we've talked about is obviously you've been responsible for setting up professional services in your company, which started, I think, about a year ago. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And you've got now what, six, seven, eight people, I think, in the team?
I think today it's already 9. Yes.
Nine. Okay,
Yeah.
wonderful. Cool. And so tell us a little bit about what have been some of the learnings over like the last year about setting up a services function inside of a technology business.
Yes, absolutely. So, as you said, we started a little bit over a year ago, and we started from the ground up. JetBrains is, well, it will be 26 next year, so quite an old
20 years
organization.
old, 26 years old.
26 years old, yes.
Wow, cool. Okay.
Yeah. And we are a strong product organization. So we were working on the products for all this time. And introducing services to product organization is definitely a challenge because it is very important to show that it brings additional value both to the customers and the product teams. I think one of my biggest learnings so far was the importance of the relationship. Because having an experience in the B2C product development, the B2B services world is, well, let's say different. And relationships with customers, partners, both internal and external, and the community, of course, are very valuable. And in this regard, I'm really happy to be a part of the SDA.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to have this. I think something you've embraced is this. You have to have immediately have a pretty commercial mindset, right? And I think you've leaned into that well. And as you said, like building relationships internally and explaining what services is as well as what it's not. Because I think that's been one of the things that you've talked about to me is also helping people internally differentiate between services, customer success, support, for example. Is that fair?
Absolutely, yes. This is definitely a challenge. And at JetBrains, everyone knows our products, how to sell them. But
Right.
services are new, services are different. And working on services, you quickly realize that there is a difference between free service and paid service. And it's not really about money, it is about the attitude. Attitude of the sales rep selling it, attitude of a customer receiving it. Because there is the perception, the involvement of a customer is different when they pay for it and they really see the value. And to sell the value, of course, you need to believe that there is a value for you too.
100%. I think that applies to more mature services organizations as well, to be honest with you. I think when people invest in something, they're investing in their success. And so when they pay for something, they're investing in their success. Now, AI, for those of us that aren't familiar, has been quite a hot topic in the market and in the world of services. In the SDA, I think we've been trying to help members understand how to work with AI, not think about it as a feature, but think about it as, let's say, the smartest member of their team, right? An extension of their team. I've been very keen to profile things that members are doing. So before we actually show a little bit about what you've been doing, tell me a bit about like what's been like the AI learning journey for you, because you mentioned to me last time that you're a company full of engineers and smart people. So I think yours is an environment where I would imagine people have really embraced AI. Is that fair?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah,
And we were doing AI when it was called ML, so machine learning, even back
machine
then.
learning. Yeah,
And we considered it mostly as yet another tool on the belt of a software developer. So we try to bring it to the code completion, for instance, so that the IDE is more powerful. But then the large language models, LLMs, came and they redefined the market. They redefined the understanding of what AI can be used for. And
hmm
today we still have these, well, let's call them classic tools for software developers where engineers write their code, create the programs. But there is also the whole new emerging market of solutions for low code, no code programming engines, agents, sorry, that write programs for you. And as a software developer, you raise their, I don't know, mentor them, manage them instead of being involved directly in the code creation. So
yeah.
we try to compete in both worlds, the classic one and the new one, of course.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of other things to add to that. One is like usability, right? So, and accessibility. So by making these LLMs and models more accessible and more usable, more user friendly, even my experience, we use predominantly OpenAI and Gemini in my business. Even like the usability and accessibility of those solutions has improved very rapidly. Good example was last week making projects shareable in OpenAI, right? So making those projects versus making a custom GPT a little bit easier, but you couldn't share them. I had a conversation with someone at Google, DeepMind, a couple of weeks ago, and I think they're planning to, make more of their things accessible because, again, you can only really share it internally. So I think there's this democratization of like accessibility and usability that's really important. Um, but I'd be interested to hear as we look at this example also about maybe how you've encouraged people to work with it in your business. So I'm going to share my screen. So we're going to introduce. Now I christened this Artem for those of for those of you watching. Artem told us about this in one of the SDA AI virtual workshops, and it was super cool, this example. So I stole that detection term and called it the services detective. So I think just to begin with, Artem, explain to us a little bit about the background to this, and then we can kind of go through the way that it works, referencing what we have on the left-hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. And first of all, I love the name, the Services Detective. It's very cool. So when I started a bit more than a year ago, one of the things I was trying to do is to understand our customers because this is new for JetBrains, the services, and we know how to offer products, but what services do they need? I use different approaches, and I'm not sure, but I think it was during one of the SDA meetups, someone suggested that, look, you already have tons of customer requests in Zendesk. Why not you feed it to the AI and then just get the result? Like, what can be a demand for services? So we have a team. It's inside the support organization called Smart Feedback Processing, and they agreed to help with the task. And we started working together on the prompt that will detect services. And one of the challenges, of course, is to distinguish between the professional services, well, and all the rest. As you mentioned, there is also customer success, there is also technical support. There is also pre-sales activities, and they're all different. And what we wanted to get is the pure professional services requests. It's not a trivial task, but we were progressing very well. And at some point, we realized that it is actually very valuable if you run the prompt not only on the whole historic database of requests, like millions of them, but on all the incoming requests as well. And at some point, we just decided to add a few hooks to Zendesk, then run the prompt against the messages. And if AI thinks that it might be a professional services opportunity, it just sends the message to the Slack channel. Someone from our team monitors the channel. And then, first of all, the initial idea was that we will use it to improve the prompt. So basically to mark the request as a true positive or false positive, and then adjust the AI solution based on this information. But turns out that the quality is pretty good, and we can actually follow up on the request right away. So we started using this information to engage with customers or engage with internal teams, recommending them to evolve professional services when needed. And this proved very valuable. Actually, one of these requests is already signed opportunity, and we are just waiting to deliver the training to one of our customers.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. So I think there's a couple of things here which is really important to like as a framework for members and services teams. So one of the first thing is you've turned Zendesk into this hub of information, and then you're using AI to surface that information. So in services, we're always like digging for information. And what you're using AI to do, which is like our philosophy as well, is like, how do you surface intelligence, right? To then act on it, right? It's very simple, but that's the framework. One, you have to have a hub of information that in this example, it's in Zendesk. It could be in Salesforce. It could be in Microsoft. It could be whatever your like hub repository is, right? Number one, that it has to go somewhere. And then number two is like understanding like how to surface that and refine that, like per your point. So I would imagine you iterated the prompt, right? Like over a period of time, and then fed back to it like what is a request, what isn't a request, and those types of things. So that's super cool. And then the other element to this is I going back to your relationship point, I would imagine this allows you to then go and talk to colleagues internally, whether that's sales or customer success, in an intelligent way about these opportunities.
Correct. Absolutely. So as a new organization, the both internal and external awareness is a challenge for us because we need to show the value we can bring, and we need everyone to understand how to use services, how to offer services, especially if we are talking about the sales team. And having the real use cases at hand is very helpful. So we are not just talking in general about what we can do, but we are considering the particular request and the particular work that can be done and how it can benefit both the internal teams and the customer.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I call that no stupid questions, right? So you're not going and asking people internally stupid questions about like a deal or a thing that is needed. You've looked at it in advance and you're making like I would say very prescriptive suggestions which are going to make sense to people internally. Um, so very cool. Anything that like you want to share just in closing about like what's next? Like, have you got some ideas about where to take this further down sort of that services journey?
Yes, absolutely. So again, there is still a human involved. So there is a manager who monitors all the requests and follows up on them. But what we want to do is to go even further, because if we are sure that this is a true professional services request, we can either generate a proper response and then provide it to a support engineer who will be handling this request, or maybe respond directly to a customer, depending on the level of confidence. And then basically we remove one more step, and then we even a bit more closer to the customer, replying faster and trying to get the most out of the opportunity.
Yeah. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I like that. The removing the step piece. That's kind of key language. Yeah, I love it. We did I mentioned this to you. So we have now GPT for SOW, creation and refinement, right? So previously the process was, the services team member, it's actually our solutions group is what it's called. They're engaged pre-sales and they responsible for generating the SOW, and that goes through peer review. And it was going through peer review to Graham, who you know. Graham was using AI to review it and check it against call recordings, which are coming into our CRM system, the requirements documentation that we have, and doing the analysis and then feeding back to the consultant on these are the gaps, right? So in terms of like, well, not removing those steps, but optimizing those steps, we said what Graham did, the consultant should be doing, and then it should be going to Graham, right? Um, and so now that in that example, I think it's like the process of the SOW generation has gone from 3 hours to 30 minutes in early sample set, which is cool. But again,
Yeah.
as you think about it, it's like understanding that there's these steps and either what do we remove or what do we optimize, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I love the idea immediately when you shared it and actually stole it right away. And
That's it.
we already discussing internally how we can create processes that will bring all the information into a single place from where we can feed it into the AI. And basically, our engineers were already doing it for the technical part and chatting with AI to get some additional information about the customer, about the problem they are having. But we can do even more. And you provided a great example how it can be done.
Awesome, love it. Well, there's kind of two, like I haven't really talked about my personal values too much to you, but or in the community, but the things that I learned very on in a business that I worked in prior to this one, which had amazingly relevant values, was one, the spirit of generosity. So the philosophy of the spirit of generosity is, you share knowledge and you get paid back for that, and rising tide and all of this type of thing. That's kind of number one. But number two is just don't reinvent the wheel, right? Like we've all got the same issues. Just if we can help members get 80% of the way there, and then they focus on the 20%, right, of getting it really right for their business, then the job done. Awesome. Thank you very much indeed, Artem. Really appreciate that. I would imagine if members want to reach out to you about this, you're open to talking to them and sharing your
Absolutely,
experience.
of course. Find me on Slack.
Brilliant. All right, wicked. Great stuff. Thanks, man. Really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Likewise, you too.